So, when dealing with this, the loneliness of building, you know, for me, when I think of the loneliness of building, it's not a negative thing. The loneliness is what helps build your conviction. It makes you stronger in your beliefs. Because you alone believe in yourself. And no one else has a say in it. It's just you. You're locked in. And I believe that's part of what makes you stronger. Because you're forced to be alone, so you're forced to believe in yourself, and you're forced to go for what you want to go for with no support. Which in the end only makes you more resilient. When I think back, when I made music, I knew I was going to be alone. And I started releasing it again in 2019 and started putting it on platforms. I didn't have anyone with me. But in the end, all I did was I just slowly built that catalog. I built that catalog of albums by myself alone and just worked on my craft. And it got me to the point to where I got over 800,000 streams. And that was just hard work. Hard work and belief in myself. I didn't have anyone to push me or anyone to help guide me through. It was literally just me producing and rapping and singing, all that. I didn't have anyone there. But having no one there, it allowed me to have more belief and conviction in what I was making. Because I was making what I wanted. I was doing what I wanted. And trying to bring forth the vision that I had. Which, for me, is stronger. Because when you receive it, you're receiving all of me. You're receiving my idea. You're receiving what I came up with. And I wouldn't say that it's lonely in the sense of, I needed someone there. I would say lonely as in, like, you're solo, you're by yourself doing it. So, you got to make sure whatever you're doing, that it's exactly what you want and how you want it. Once I got out the Navy and went to California, I slowly built my life alone. Now, my friends, they did allow me a place to stay. Yes, that did happen. But the buying a property, the getting a job, the getting promoted, all that was me building alone. They didn't help me get the job. They weren't into real estate like I was into real estate. They could care less. But it was something that I wanted to do. So I built towards that. And in the end, I was alone doing it, but I felt more joy and I was more elated at the fact that, I was able to do it on my own. That I didn't need anyone's help. I just needed my research and my drive and ambition. And what ended up happening? I got a job, stayed there consistently and got promoted. I found a property. I bought it, lived in it for a year. And then in the long run, I ended up selling it for a profit. I built that on my own. I didn't have anyone there to show me how to do it. I was just not afraid to go and try. And that loneliness I can get behind. Because that kind of loneliness, it brings fulfillment. It truly brings you fulfillment. Because in the end, you tried your best and that you gave your best effort to get this outcome. And now this outcome, has come back tenfold and, done well for you. So, when I think of that, it's something that only made me stronger in my conviction and stronger in my belief in myself. Because the main thing about this loneliness while you're building your life is it forces you to be stronger in your conviction about what you believe in and what you want to go for, because you have no one else to influence it. It's just you. So in the end, you have to really think about what you care about and what you want to do. And then once you have that, at that point, you just go for what you want to go for. I think in the end, being lonely, it definitely made me stronger. And it made me more resilient. And it makes you more resilient in the sense that when you have no one to depend on, you have to think of solutions on your own. There's no one there to help you. Especially if it's a situation where you're doing something that no one else has ever done that you know. So when you're put in that kind of position, you have to perform. There's no way around it. You got to find a way to make it work. And when you're building alone, you're forced into that corner, which only makes you stronger. It's kind of like a fight or flight mode in a way. Except in this situation, there is no flight. You have to fight. You have to figure out a way, because there is no safety net. There is no safety net. So you do whatever you have to make it work. The main thing that I'm saying is, the loneliness of building, in the end, it's not a negative thing. It's a positive. Because it only makes you who you truly are, which is a strong, resilient, confident person who stands on their convictions. And that's just how I feel. Now, I'll just end this saying, the first 1 to 7 episodes was, the orientation, because this season it has a theme to it. And the first 1 to 7 episodes was orientation, getting the basics, learning what you gotta learn, and just getting started. Episodes 8 through 18, those were the build. You're focusing on building who you are, focusing on building your life. And that was the main thing for those, right? And this last 19 to 25 episodes is the reckoning. And here in the reckoning, we're really going to dive deep and really figure out what it means to, really reset and become who you truly are. This season is all transition. Season 3 is all transition. I'm Jeuse Kastoan, and this is Hard Reset.